They say you don't gotta go home, but you can't stay here. And no, I don't wanna be alone.
Hi and welcome to BIM Tech Solutions. This video will look at creating a simple furniture family with a number of parameters set so we can have several different types within the family. To start off, we're going to go to File, New, Family, and we're going to use our metric furniture template. We're firstly going to create our reference planes for our tabletop. Doesn't matter where you position these for the minute, we'll set them right when we have all drawn. So I'm going to create reference plane, draw my reference plane, and then I'll just click the reference plane and the mirror option, and now we have our tabletop reference plane set. We're going to go annotate, align. We're going to go from left to center to right and click the equal tab. Now we're going to go from left to right. Now we're not going to lock that for the minute. We're going to do the same with our sides. Click the equal. Now we're going to set the parameters for our table length and width. So we click on the dimension, and up here we create our table length parameter. We want to set that as a type parameter, and we lock that in place. We click our side dimension. We want to create our table width parameter, and we want that as a type parameter as well. Now we're going to create our first piece of geometry. We go to create, extrusion, and we're going to use the rectangle option. Now we just select the two corners of our reference planes and lock our lines in place. And we have our first piece of geometry created. Now we go to our front elevation and tick this, and you can see our extrusion. We need to set a height for our table now, so we need to create a reference plane. Doesn't matter where you draw it for the moment. We go to annotate, aligned, and create our dimension. Now we're going to create our table height parameter. We want that as a type parameter also, and we can lock that in place. Now we need to create another reference plane, so we can select this one and press CC to copy and create our second reference plane. And we're going to call this one annotated first. Select our dimension. We're going to create a table depth parameter. We want that as a type parameter also. Now we want to lock that in position as well. So we just select our extrusion, drag our top up to meet our tabletop, and lock it in place. We select our extrusion, drag our bottom up, and lock it to our table depth reference plane. Now, if we look in the 3D view, you can see you have your tabletop created. Now, we can close that again. We want to go back to our reference level, and we can set our dimension for our width and length. So we want our table to be 1800 millimeters. We want 1200 millimeters. We'll apply that. Now we want to create our table legs. To do this, we'll go to Create, Extrusion. We'll select our rectangle option. We want it to be, it doesn't matter what you draw it at, we're going to set the right dimensions now. So we want it to be 60 by 60. We want to lock those two dimensions. We want to annotate from the reference plane to the side of our leg, the reference plane that side of our leg. And for this, I'm going to move our leg back 23 mil to make it 50, lock it in place. I'm going to select our lines again, move 4 mil, and lock that in place. Now, I'm going to take this little icon here and finish our extrusion. Now, if we look in our front elevation, we can see our first table leg. So we want to drag that right up to the bottom of the table and lock it in place. Now, back in our reference level, we select our extrusion and mirror, and there's our second leg created. Now, to create our two front legs, we do the same again. Select the two legs, mirror, and there's our 4 legs. We still have to set our dimension of how far we want our leg from the edge of the table. So we go to Annotate, Aligned, select our edge of our table, edge of our leg, lock it in place. So we select our leg, edit extrusion, annotate aligned, same again. Select our dimension, make sure everything's locked. Annotate aligned again. Now we go into our front elevation again. There we have our 4 legs. Now these legs we need to lock into position. So we just drag them up to our line and lock. Drag it down, drag it up and lock. Now to get the back leg here, we can select our leg, press H, that hides our front leg. Now we can slide that up again, lock in place. Now we're going to change some parameters here to start setting the right size for our table. So for our table height, we're going to go with 750 and apply. Now we're going to go for our table depth. We're going to go with 40 for this. Click OK. Go to our 3D view. There's your table. We want to put it on fine and shade it. And now we're going to set some materials for our table. So we select our tabletop, click this little tab here. We want to create a parameter for this. So we're going to call it tabletop finish. We want it as a type parameter. Select OK. OK. Now we want our legs on a different material. So we select our 4 legs, same little tab, and we create a new parameter here. And we'll call this table leg finish. We want this as a type parameter. Click OK. Now, up here in our properties, in our family types, we're going to edit the materials. So for our tabletop finish, click here, this little three dots icon. We want our table to be oak. Select OK. And for our legs, we want oak as well. Click OK. Now, to see the final finish, we select this tab down here, we click realistic, and you see your table finish. Now, to set another type of family, go back into our family types, click this icon here for a new type. We'll call this oak 1800 by 1200, and click OK. Now, we want to create our glass coffee table. To do this, we go to New Type, call it Glass Coffee Table, and select OK. Now, for our glass coffee table, we want our table depth to be 10 mil, our table height to be 500, our table length to be 1200, and our table width to be 600. For our tabletop finish, we want to go with glass. So we search up here for glass. There we go. And for our leg finish, it doesn't matter what we use. For this, I'm going to use stainless steel. And down here, we have stainless steel polished. We click this little arrow here and click OK. And click OK again. And there you have your glass coffee table. And if we go up here to family type, we can change back to our oak finish table. There you have your simple furniture family with all our parameters set. To create the more sophisticated families, we use the same processes. So to get your head around this is a good start, and it'll help creating the tougher families. If you have any comments, please leave them below. I'll help you out whatever way I can with whatever questions, and if you want me to load up this family, give you a link to it, please just comment below, and don't forget to subscribe. Thanks.
They say you don't gotta go home, but you can't stay here.